Welcome back to O'Gorman High School. We have the O'Gorman boys and the Roosevelt boys coming up in about 4 or 5 minutes here of actual time. We'll get to some pregame, some starting lineups shortly. Isaac and I will have the call. O'Gorman boys versus the Roosevelt Rough Rider boys. All right, welcome back to the Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools YouTube channel. We got the O'Gorman boys and the Roosevelt boys coming up shortly. The Knights boys, 6-3 on the season, 3-1 at home, 6th in power points. This was yesterday. Obviously, could be a little bit change in power points. Sioux Falls Roosevelt 7-2, 1-1 on the road. They are 3rd in power points right now. The Riders are on a 5-game win streak. There have not lost in 2024. Their last loss was on December 29th of 2023 at the Pentagon to Lincoln, 60-52. Knights coming off a win over Lincoln last night. Isaac 57-47, a big win for the Knights boys. It's a 4-point game, 37-33 going to the fourth quarter, and the Knights kind of turned on the Jets and kind of took away the fourth quarter. Austin Trevine 23 points, and this will be the second matchup of these two teams this year. The Knights lost to the Riders on December 12th at the Pentagon, 49-41. The Riders got to a quick start in that one. Isaac, welcome back. And what are you expecting in a Knights ball game between the Riders and the Knights?
I think that it's going to be a pretty quick pace game. You know, Roosevelt really likes to get out and run. I think it's going to be a little bit interesting to see how the Knights handle their back-to-back, if you will, where they just played last night in a highly competitive game against Lincoln. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle those day two legs, if you will. But as Coach Roby always preaches, it shouldn't matter whether it's 1 day or 2 days when you've got to play 3 games in a row at the state tournament 3 days in a row. But it's definitely something to look for early on / middle of the season here, where O'Gorman just played a competitive game last night. They get that home court advantage today. What should be a pretty exciting contest between these two teams here. Obviously, Roosevelt trying to get back on the winning track as well. Both teams come in with good records. They've already met once this year where Roosevelt had that win. Should be a good competitive game. Yeah,
and Roosevelt played last night, defeated Yankton 61-42. So both these teams kind of coming off a game last night, both at their home arenas. So be interesting to see who has the best energy to start out this ball game between these two teams. And O'Gorman obviously needs to have to have a better start than the first game against Roosevelt. Isaac, they were, I think, down at 28-12 in that first game from the Pentagon.
Yeah, and I was watching a little bit of that game on the live stream. They had a good third quarter, a good start to the third quarter, kind of chipped back into it. I think it was like a 4-point game at one point. And then Roosevelt was able to hang on and play some really good defense and create some turnovers in that later portion of that game, and held on to win in the fourth quarter, where it was a pretty competitive game throughout.
All right, we're going to take a quick little break, and then we'll come back for the starting lineups and final thoughts as both teams look like they're about ready to get introduced here on the court. This is Brett Byler with Isaac Struck. You're listening to Knights Boys Basketball on the Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools YouTube channel. Welcome back. Starters getting introduced on the court. Isaac, do you want to take the starters for this game?
Yeah, O'Gorman will start number 4, Hayden Gross, number 3, Rylan Satter, number 5, Austin Terveen, number 22, Henry Theobald, and the last starter in the line, number 35, Noon Doot. Roosevelt, on the other hand, will start Akeem Moko, the 6'5 junior center, as well as Hayden Goff, the 6-foot senior guard. Number 2, Nasir Ismail, the 5'8" senior guard. Number 4, the 6'2" forward, Logan Nielsen. And the last starter tonight, Garang Kowal, the 6'3" senior guard. Number 11 for the Rough Riders. Rough Riders are going to be short-handed tonight, down a few guys for this afternoon's game. It looks like they've only got 9 guys dressed for the varsity game as well. So it could be interesting to see how Roosevelt kind of handles rotations, and maybe some more inexperienced guys getting some time here this afternoon could play a factor as this one develops, as Noon Doot will take the 3 right off the bat and knock it down.
Good play call that time. Noon Doot, wide open three-pointer, good play by Gross, and Knights on the board quick, 3-0.
Kowal with it up top. He'll dribble over and hand it back to Ismail, who will take it over to the right wing. Looks inside, dump off down low. Nielsen over the top of the defender of Satter. Couldn't get the first shot to fall. Gathered his own rebound and then got stuffed on the second chance opportunity. And the Knights will push offensively down the right side of the floor.
That was that 1-3-1 zone again. We saw that a lot against Lincoln last night.
I think that they're going to kind of rely on that a lot more this year. You know, not as big as they've been in years past. They're going to try to, you know, any made baskets might fall back into that zone, which could be for the rest of the season. As Terveen, pump fake, jab step, gets it over to Gross, steps into a triple that's short off the right side of the rim, and then bounces out of bounds off of Doot. It will belong to the Riders.
Doesn't look like Roosevelt has a lot of size either. 2 kind of smallish teams. Their centers both about 6'3", you know. So for AA boys basketball, not very tall. Like you mentioned before, we've seen O'Gorman will roll out 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" lineups before.
Yeah, I was just going to say their tallest guy is 6'5" for the Riders right now. That's number 20, Mako, as that shot is no good. And then O'Gorman, obviously, their tallest guy in the lineup right now, Noon Dew. So Terveen will come off the dribble now, guarded by the Riders pretty closely. Steps into a deep triple. That one off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound, and then with some pace here up front to Nielsen. Drives inside and got it swatted again. Knights with 2 rejections now on Nielsen's layup attempts, and they'll have an opportunity on the offensive end. That one poked away and stolen by Goff. He'll go all the way down and then decides to pull it back out last second. Gets it over to Ismail. Corner, Goff, triple. Back of the iron, too strong, no good. Rebound goes to Theobald, and the Knights will control the offensive possession again.
I think that was Austin Terveen that had the block on the previous possession for O'Gorman.
So it'll be Gross swinging a pass down to the corner with Terveen. Terveen with it now, looking up top to Theobald. Theobald had a quiet game last night. He kind of had a hot start to the season. Has been a little bit more quiet. They're going to say that Terveen ran out of bounds before he caught it. Kind of weird that.
So that's a rule if you run out of bounds?
Well, if you reestablish yourself, you're fine, which it looked like he had both feet in bounds before he had caught that ball. But the call, regardless, gives the Riders the basketball here as Kowal step back triple from the top of the key is strong, no good. Rebound goes to Terveen. Over to Satter on the left wing, back to Gross, up top to Terveen. Knights offense has been 3-point heavy here in the opening minutes. Gross will slow it down, bring it up to the half-court line, guarded closely by Goff. Hands it off now to Theobald, back up top to Satter. Terveen kind of got caught sleeping in the middle of the play and was in the way of the passing lane, and now they're going to have to reset. Doot nearly lost it, did lose it, tried to bounce pass it back, and then Doot ended up corralling it. Terveen's going to have to hoist a deep 3 to just beat the shot clock because there was really no clear possession.
So that was a sloppy possession for O'Gorman.
Yeah, I was just going to say. As Roby looks at the shot clock operator and gives a smile saying, "Are you sure that wasn't possession by Roosevelt?" So that shot rolls off the rim, no good. Nice offensive rebound inside, put it right back up in for 2. That was Akeem Moko.
Roosevelt just kind of backs off now. The past have pressed quite a bit when they had that really good team a few years ago.
I was going to say, basically a 2-year stretch of dominant teams that really got up in your face early on the defensive possessions kind of fall back into a normal traditional half-court defense now.
Yeah, that Gross will shoot the 3 short. That Talon, Ashley, Tucker, Large, that group, man, they were hard to get the ball up
Tyler
against.
Feldkamp.
Yes, Feldkamp. Thank you.
Ismail, step back triple, top of the key is good. So Gross will bring it across the half-court line.
Ishmael, a few words for Theobald.
Yeah, I was just going to say, on both ends. That one's stolen away and poked back and forth, grabbed by Gross. They'll slow it down. Again, no possession, so no shot clock reset. Duke just steps into a deep triple. That one no good. Rebound, Moko.
Oh, Ferobi's going to like that shot.
I was going to say, that's been, I think, 5 straight three-point shots for the Knights so far.
And that was about 17 on the shot clock, too. So, I mean, you could got that shot at any point.
So a foul will send Ismail to the free throw line where he'll have a chance to get back on the scoreboard after just knocking down that triple on the last possession. His first free throw is up and good. A couple of subs coming to the game for the Riders. That's number 24, Tiger, and number 21, Hoynes in for the Riders. And then you've got Terveen and Bjorkman and Mooney checking in for the Knights.
O'Gorman, Isaac, they scored on their first possession of the game with that three-pointer by Dude. They have not scored since then.
So close to about a 4-minute scoring drought here for the Knights. As that second free throw was up and good by Ismail. And the Riders lead 7-3 here. Terveen off the dribble into the hands of Bjorkman. Swings it over to Austin. Austin Terveen will pull it out and then try to attack off the dribble and was fouled that time by Garan Kowal.
Austin Terveen, the Knights' leading scorer, 16 points a game, shooting about 50% from the field. He had 23 last night against Sioux Falls Lincoln. So obviously, if you're Sioux Falls Roosevelt, that's the one guy. I think he's the only guy for O'Gorman actually this year. Noon Dude has 10, so they got the 2 guys in double figures. But obviously, Terveen will be heavy priority list for Roosevelt's defense tonight.
Terveen with it over on the left wing. He'll go off the dribble now. Takes a tough rising 2-point shot, and it's good. Ismail swings it over to Goff, back up to Ismail, and swings it back to Tiger. Ismail, standstill 3 from the top of the key is good. Ismail's had a few words on both of those 3-point attempts, trying to get the blood flowing early between these two crosstown rivals that actually share the same 41st Street. As Bjorkman jab step into the paint. Nice gather up with the left hand, count the basket and one. A nice lengthy finish there by Jackson Bjorkman, who kind of just played a little bit of too small there, where those long wingspan up over the top of the defender and then finished with the nice left-handed layup off the glass.
Really good body control, too. Sometimes you can lose your balance doing a play like that and get knocked off your platform, and he did a really good job. Finished with the left hand, and if he can do play like that with his length, he can really be a factor tonight's ball game.
Bjorkman's free throw is up and good, so a trip to the line results in a 3-point play for Jackson Bjorkman, and the Knights within 2. Goff with it over on the wing, back to Ismail. He'll come off of a screen now. In a little bit of trouble, flings it to the corner. That pass is deflected and then kicked to the corner. Tiger standstill triple, draws nothing but air, and the rebound for the Knights.
John Lennon, the game for O'Gorman now. He had a really good game last night, I thought. A good floor game for him.
Terveen thought he got bumped on that shot attempt. As Tiger dumps it off inside to Nielsen, poked away by Bjorkman. Now Ismail into the paint, just flips up a shot, no good. Rebound offensively for Nielsen, who kicks it to the wing, and that 3-pointer rattles in for Carson Hoynes.
Hoynes, a 6'3 sophomore with listed as a center, so maybe a little stretch 5.
Caleb Terveen, quick fire triple, answers right back. Ismail will bring it across the half-court line. Swings it over to Goff. Nearly had it stolen by Terveen. Now Ismail dump inside to Nielsen. He'll back down. Kick it back out to Ismail. Right back to Nielsen. Little give-and-go action there. Kick to the corner. Goff. Stand still triple is buttered as he stares down the bench.
That's a good pass that time by Nielsen. Swinging it across to the corner where Goff was wide open. That's the easiest three, that corner three.
Terveen off the dribble, tough rising to and was fouled on the shot. And he'll head to the free throw line for 2.
This game's kind of like a boxing match. One team scores a three-pointer, then the next team gets a three-point play, and vice versa. This is,
just going to say, for a slow start to the first quarter, it has been rattling back and forth for the final 3 minutes here. It was 7-3 at the 3-minute mark. Now 16-11. So both teams continuing to trade baskets here over the final couple of minutes of the quarter.
So that was Hoynes' second foul, so he's going to check out. Striders, as you mentioned, only with 9 guys suited up tonight. Foul trouble, that could be a factor in the ball game. I was just
going to say, it looks like they, someone gets one foul and they kind of quickly are looking to change it up a little bit as Gross comes in for Terveen. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they kind of manage that 2 fouls for Hoynes, who just hit a big triple for them offensively. Kowal swings it over to Ismail. Back to Kowal. Knights in a zone defense now. Screen set up top. Ismail steps into a triple. That one short, no good. Rebound goes to Mooney. And Mooney will push the pace a little bit and then fling it over to Gross in transition. Gross, stop, pass inside or up top to Terveen. Looking like they were going to try to get it inside to Lent. And now back over to Gross. Pump fake of the triple, then go over inside to John Lent, who gets fouled on the shot attempt underneath the basket.
Really nice entry pass by Mooney. Led him right to where he needed to be, and that's not an easy pass to make.
No.
Kind of like you could have either got fouled low or high
yeah,
on that one.
Kind of got grabbed from both guys there on the shot attempt, so it'll send John Lent to the free throw line for 2 here. First one is on its way and good.
Hear Roby yelling out the defensive call.
Lent makes the second free throw, so both are good. And now the Knights will pressure a little bit on the ball here with 8 seconds left in the quarter. Ismail, crossover dribble, tries to get inside to the paint. He does. Layup is up, and he was fouled by Lent.
And that time, Al Gorman, I don't think he did a very good job. He's a left-handed player. They were playing him too far to the right, letting him get to that strong hand in a straight line. You never want to give a straight line drive to the basket like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt like Ismail was kind of setting up that crossover and then perfectly executed it and got right to the basket. It was going to be a tough shot regardless, and then Lent came over the top and got him at the last second, and Ismail rattles in the second one and knocks down both at the line. So Mooney will have a chance at the half court. He even said get to the Lent three-pointer at the buzzer, hits the net, but a little bit short and no good. And that'll do it for the first quarter here at O'Gorman High School. Knights trail the Roosevelt Rough Riders 18-15. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights basketball. Welcome back to O'Gorman High School as we get ready to start the second quarter here. As the Knights trail by 3, Roosevelt will have the basketball to open up the quarter. Pretty energetic start to this one here at O'Gorman High School. Close ball game, a lot of competitive shots hit back and forth by both teams. And good crowd presence from both squads so far this afternoon in that late Saturday game of our doubleheader in which the O'Gorman girls won game 1 of the doubleheader over the Roosevelt girls.
And that was 59-21 was the score of that game.
Goff off the dribble, pulls up, three-pointer from the top of the key, just short, no good. Rebound goes to Dute, and Terveen will push up the right side of the floor. Off the dribble, guarded by Nielsen, gets into the paint, swooping right-handed layup is good. Terveen took a hard spill to the floor, gets right back up, and the Knights trail by 1. Now with some tempo, and Kuwal in a little bit of trouble in the corner, then just stop and pop triple is good.
And that's one of those shots as a coach is almost like a no-no. Yes, I guess it went in. I'll be okay with it early in the shot clock.
I was about 7 seconds into the clock there. And a dribble length of the floor, immediate step back 3, but that was a nice shot there from Kuwal. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Theobald for the screen.
Like I mentioned, Isaac, Riders, they're on a 5-game winning streak. They have not lost here in 2024. Last lost to Lincoln on December 29th. So a team that's playing really good basketball right now.
Ismail off the screen, pump fake the 3 up top to Kuwal. Ismail back up top to Goff, swings it over to Kuwal. He'll have it over in the corner. He'll come off of the dribble. Inside of the paint, tough right-handed shot, no good. Moko with the rebound, couldn't get the second chance shot to fall. And now the Knights will push offensively.
Ooh, travel.
Theobald, I was just about to say, looked like he wanted to take that three-point shot from the corner and shuffled his feet a little bit on the gather. So Roosevelt with the possession. They lead by 4. They'll go off the dribble now, and then Nielsen lost it and double dribbled. Was looking to hand it off, and then was basically too far away for the handoff and tried to quickly put it back on the ground and was whistled for the quick double dribble there.
So back-to-back unforced errors by both these teams.
Gross will dribble near to the elbow, kick it out to Dute. He'll go off the dribble now into the paint. Tough pass to Satter on the wing. He'll take a three-pointer. That one's strong, no good. Rebound, Ismail, who saves it from going out of bounds. Into the hands of Kuwal. Will bring it up the half-court line. Over to Goff on the right wing. Back up top, Ismail. Pump fake to the triple, swings it over to Kuwal. He'll use a screen from Moko, had it poked away, and then poked right into the hands of Nielsen, who tries to finish off the glass, couldn't get it to go. Dute with the rebound, and then corrals it. Swing pass all the way over to Terveen on the left wing, and the Knights will finally slow it down. Terveen to Gross. Fadeaway elbow jumper for Gross is good. So Kuwal with it over to the hands of Ismail. Back to Kuwal. Knights in that zone defense here. Kuwal will dribble over to the wing. Kick it to the corner. Dump off down low to Moko. Back up top to Ismail. Inside to Nielsen. Turnaround jump hook is good. Logan Nielsen got that one to fall. And it's 23-19. Roosevelt on top at the 5-minute mark here of the second quarter. Gross, nice pass inside to Satter, who established the block and finished off the window.
Really nice play by Gross, making the basket the previous possession, then penetration. Really good dish to Satter that time.
Dump inside to Moko. Catch, he'll drive. Had it poked by Gross and then grabbed by Satter. And Satter will swing it over to Terveen. So Gross with it now off the dribble. Waves Terveen out of the way, and then will dribble handoff to Austin Terveen. Dump over to Theobald. Terveen up top, three-pointer from deep straight away, no good. Too strong, hit the glass at the same time as the rim and kind of just got wedged back there and softly fell to the ground. Goff over to Ismail. He'll hand off to Kuwal, who will come off of a screen from Moko. Step back, drive into the paint. Right-handed shot off the glass was fouled. And we'll head to the free throw line for 2 free throws. That's going to be number 2 on Henry Theobald.
He has a quick first step, too. A lot of really quick players, twitchy players here on the court tonight, and that was a good first step. Got to the basket and got fouled.
Wall's free throw no good, and a plethora of subs into the game for both teams. Bjorkman, Mooney, and Caleb Terveen enter for the Knights, and then Tiger and new into the game, Isaiah Garong for the Rough Riders. Rebound for Mooney after both free throws were missed there, that time by Kowal. Mooney up top to Bjorkman. He'll swing it over to Terveen. Terveen off the dribble now. Backs it out. Swings it over to Bjorkman at the top of the key. Bjorkman back to Caleb Terveen. Pump fake of the triple. Now he'll step into one. That one air ball. Rebound saved by Bjorkman. It did not hit the rim, so the shot clock did not reset. Mooney inside. Now in a little bit of trouble, and they're going to say that he walked with it on the low block.
And these two teams always have had that rivalry, Isaac, but I mean, it's been even more the last couple of years with them meeting both in the 21 and 22 state title games, both won by Roosevelt. So both these two teams in the last couple of years have really been the successful basketball programs here in the Sioux Falls area and also AA boys basketball.
In that second year, that 2022 state championship, Roosevelt, as Moko got that one to fall, went undefeated. O'Gorman lost 3 games, all 3 to Roosevelt, both regular seasons in the state championship game by a combined 9 points. So those teams were basically inseparable all season long. A 1-point win for Roosevelt, a 2-point win for Roosevelt, and a 6-point win for Roosevelt as Kowal knocks down that triple.
Now we got the biggest lead of the game for Roosevelt, 7 points. So this is a little bit of a danger zone for O'Gorman right now. Got to weather this storm.
I was going to say you have to get a good possession offensively here. Terveen will use the screen, swing it over to Caleb Terveen. Caleb off the dribble, drives inside, turnaround. That's a tough 2-point shot by Caleb Terveen, which is good.
Yeah, that state title game in 2022, that went to overtime. Low-scoring game that Roosevelt was able to
it was
pull
like
out.
54-52 or something like that. But, yeah, that was one of the wilder years of AA basketball. It seemed like kind of everyone in the state knew those two teams were going to meet in the state championship game, and it lived up to the hype. A 2-point overtime game at the Premier Center in front of a packed house. 3-pointer from the corner is no good. That was Garong, Isaiah Garong on the 3-point shot. Well defended by Bjorkman there. Couple of lengthy guards in guarding each other over there, both sporting number 13. Terveen, tough rising 2 is good from the mid-range.
He gets really good elevation on that jump shot,
I was going to say, I mean, the elevation on Terveen's jump shot reminds me a lot of a player that used to play a handful of years ago from Rapid City Stevens and Mason Archambault, who ended up finishing his college career at USD. But that was one of the more, is that 3-point shot by Tiger no good, one of the more impressive jump shots you might ever see in the high school basketball game. I mean, he had about a good foot underneath of him every time he left the ground shooting a jump shot as Terveen gets fouled on the take. And when you're able to be balanced in the air like Terveen was on that last jump shot, where you're able to rise up and be balanced and still hit a poised jump shot, that's a really tough defend for any player in the state.
Absolutely, and he has some good height to begin with, so I mean it's almost a hard shot to block anyway, and he's able to elevate for it. Now he's going to the free throw line, so that 7-point lead, 28-21 from about a minute and a half ago, he misses that free throw. O'Gorman's kind of, for now, weathered that storm. It's a 3-point game.
So Austin Terveen at the free throw line for the second of 2 free throws. Missed the first. Gathers himself at the line for the second. That free throw on the way and good. So Terveen up to 9 points on the night, as the Riders lead by 2 with about 1:15 left here in the second quarter. Tiger into the hands of Ismail. He'll come off of a screen from Goff. Kick to the corner, nearly stolen away. Now Tiger in some trouble underneath, gets it to Moko. Moko might have shuffled his feet there and then got it swatted away by John Len. Good defensive possession for the Knights.
Yeah, I saw that one too, Isaac. I was wondering why it wasn't called.
Yeah, I was going to say, they said that it was deflected, but it looked like was kind of clearly gathered as Terveen gets that one poked away by Nielsen. And now Nielsen in a little bit of trouble, gets it into the hands of Ismail. He'll kick to the corner. Tiger up, dump off down low to Moko. Back to Ismail, off the quick dribble. Behind the back, guarded by Caleb Terveen tightly. Uses a screen from Moko, gets it over to Tiger. He'll step into a deep triple, and that one is good. Jameer Tiger knocks down the triple, and it's a 5-point lead with about 14 seconds left on the clock. Knights will hold for the final possession here. They trail by 5. Gross off the dribble. Kicks it over to Caleb Terveen. Back to Gross. Triple from the corner. Strong, no good. Lent saved the rebound. He doesn't realize how much time is left on the clock and couldn't get the shot off. It did go in. But that'll do it for the second quarter. In the first half, here at O'Gorman High School, the Rough Riders coming in on the road, leading by 5 at the break. We'll take a break and recap the first half when we come back. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights basketball on Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools YouTube channel.
There you go.
And welcome back to O'Gorman High School as we get ready to start the second half here at O'Gorman High School. Brett Byler is going to give us some score updates from around the state for some of the AA games of girls and boys action on this fine Saturday in January.
All right, Isaac, thank you. So in girls, we'll start there. Mitchell girls stay undefeated, 9-0 in the season with a 46-44 win at Harrisburg. The Colonel ladies and the Knights both 9-0 in the season. Rapid City Central girls defeated Watertown at the Civic Arena 50-46. Huron in overtime winning at the Huron Arena over Jefferson 50-48. Stevens girls over Brookings 59-46. O'Gorman 59-21 over Roosevelt. That was the first game of our doubleheader. Brandon Valley defeats Aberdeen Central up in Aberdeen 56-31. St. Thomas More and Douglas later on tonight. In boys, Rapid City Stevens boys win in Brookings 59-38. Watertown's boys win against Rapid City Central 50-38. Huron leading Jefferson, Isaac, and boys. That's an interesting one, 38-26 at the end of the first half at the Huron Arena. Brandon Valley boys win over Aberdeen Central 61-40. And then, of course, our game, Roosevelt lead O'Gorman 31-26 at halftime. So most of these games, except the Huron-Jefferson boys games and our games, are all finals here this afternoon. There's a lot of early afternoon games, and in girls play, everything is pretty much a final except that St. Tommy Moore Douglas game tonight at 7.
I'm going to say I think a lot of those games final and just earlier games because some of these teams are traveling a lot further distances than the 7-minute drive down 41st Street here in Sioux Falls. But yeah, some good basketball games, a couple surprising scores like you had mentioned, but should be an exciting second half here at O'Gorman High School as we've got about 15 seconds before the buzzer goes off for both teams to take the floor.
And let's take a look at O'Gorman boys' next week's schedule. So on Thursday night, they play at Sioux Falls, Washington, a 7 o'clock start for that one. And then on Saturday afternoon, it says 1 right now on the state website. It says 3. They actually will host Pierre boys here next Saturday at 1 o'clock. They moved the start of that up a couple hours. The Pierre Governors boys are 7-4, Washington 6-3. So 2 big tests again for the Knights next week as well at Washington Thursday, hosting Pierre on Saturday.
Absolutely. Should be a fun, action-packed weekend of basketball for the state of South Dakota once again.
Yeah, we're about that halfway point of the season, so these games where they really start mattering for power points, as you mentioned last night.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see in a couple of weeks where everything's sitting.
Gross off of the cut, kicks it over to Satter. His baseline jumper is good. So 31-28, Satter got that jump shot to fall right to start the third quarter.
That's kind of more of his spot than that three-pointer he took in the first half.
Ismail kicks it over to Kowal, dump inside to Moko, back to Kowal. He'll go off the dribble, back up top to Ismail. Swings it over to Kowal, dump off into the hands of Nielsen. He'll kick it to the corner. Goff thought about a 3, gets it to Ismail. He'll shoot a 3, and that one rattles in and out, no good. Rebound goes to Satter.
So first 4 minutes, always key here in the second half. Terveen with the drive.
Got it to go, but they call a travel.
Ooh, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Nielsen, the role he kind of plays, number 4 with Roosevelt, kind of reminds me of like that Draymond Green type role where he'll initiate some of the offense, he'll guard the best player on the other team defensively, and kind of like doing a lot of the little things for them. A little bit undersized, too, for his position.
So that one thrown off of the leg of Moko as he called for the higher pass, and then Gross steps into an interesting falling forward three-pointer as he couldn't get that one to fall. Ismail off the dribble now. He'll hand it off to Goff. He'll come off of a screen up to the top and get it right back to Ismail, who will bring it to the O and O'Gorman on the logo and back over to Kowal. 18 on the shot clock.
Man-to-man defense for the Knights.
Goff kicks it inside, and that one stolen away by Satter. There's now Terveen with it in the corner, pump fake the triple. Now he'll jab step, dribble back to the corner, drive inside, kick it up top to Dute. Dute off the dribble now, spins into the paint. Tough right-handed finish, no good. Rebound goes to Kowal.
Pretty good defense that time by Kowal, kind of forcing Dute off his spot.
So up top to Kowal. He'll go off the dribble now. Kick it back to Goff. Dump inside now to Moko. He'll go off the dribble, back down, and it's going to be a charge called on the Rough Riders as Satter took the charge on the spin move.
That still remains probably the toughest call for a referee in basketball, that block charge. Are they flopping or are they not flopping? And Mitch Pregame, I think by his reaction on the stream, you can see what he thought of that call.
So Gross will come off of the dribble. Uses a screen, dumps it off to Terveen. Terveen, pump fake, gets into the paint. Tough rising two-pointer is no good, but was fouled by Nielsen. So that's the third time now Terveen has drawn contact on that jump shot from just inside the three-point line. Terveen's free throw is good. I kind of like that. Jimmy Ricketts Jr. down there. Nielsen kind of questioned, what did he do or what could he do better, in a very nice, calm, civil discussion between the two of them, back and forth about what they saw or what they could, or how differently he could have defended that without getting the foul call. And pleasant nods and agreement on both ends, and just like that, we play ball. So, I can absolutely vouch for a player asking more about what they could do to not get the foul call instead of, saying, oh, that was a bad call. I think that goes both ways for the ref and for the team. If it's more of a just casual conversation back and forth, not disagreeing with the call, but trying to understand what they can do better, as Moko goes right up off the glass for two.
I feel like if Roosevelt really wanted to put an effort at doing the play like that, they could probably get it all night long.
Absolutely. Terveen, dump inside to Gross. Fires a pass over to Satter, who pump fakes right-handed hook shot, good for two.
Really good job, Ryland Satter. About a 10-footer, then he just decided to go in, get a little bit closer, and he has that little right-handed hook shot in his arsenal, and he hit it that time.
Ismail brings it over to the right wing, dumps it inside to Kowal, kicks it over back to Ismail. Over to the top to Tiger, who looks inside, kicks it back to Ismail. Stop and pop triple for him, and it's good. That's his third triple of the night for Ismail, as Satter has it on the wing. Into the hands of Gross. Back to Terveen. Deep triple for Terveen is good.
And that was Ishmael's first basket since that first quarter, where he had 10 points in the quarter. And Terveen with the answer. He has a game-high 14 for O'Gorman.
Goff with it over on the left wing. Back up top to Ismail. He'll come off of the dribble to the right side. Tough pass in the corner up to Goff. Dump off inside to Kowal. Uses that quick first step, has it ripped away and stolen by Austin Terveen. Tries to throw a transition pass to Caleb, who then saves it, and it was stolen away by Kowal, who then in transition flips it to Tiger with a great left-handed catch, and then Satter swats it away, but fouled Tiger, who will head to the free throw line. That was honestly a beautiful left-handed catch right into a left-handed layup, and earns him a trip to the foul line for 2 free throws.
And a really good defensive effort by Satter that time, too, getting over there. I think he got ball, but I think he got a little body as well.
Free throw is good. Mooney checks in for Theobald.
37-35, Roosevelt leading the Knights. 3:36 left in the third quarter.
Second free throw up and good. He'll come off of the screen now. Mooney dump inside to Satter. Right-handed finish off the glass, no good, too strong. A rebound for the Rough Riders. They lead by 3. Ismail comes off of the dribble, drives into the paint, kicks it to the corner. Goff, standstill triple, strong, no good. Rebound, Gross. He'll push with a little bit of tempo into the hands of Mooney now, who brings it down the right wing. Gross with it back up top. Step back into the hands of Satter. Back to Mooney. His corner 3 is good. Rattles in.
All tied up at 38.
Ismail into the hands of Goff. Up top, inside, poked away, and then Gross is going to get a steal out of this. Drive into the paint, had it ripped away from behind. Terveen gets it, and he's going to walk with it.
Kind of an awkward-looking play that time. Not good spacing either. That's one thing on those fast breaks. You want to try to get some better spacing than that, and they end up being about 3 guys all in the same spot, which there was a lot of contact, but
tough to call in that situation. Absolutely was some contact, but when you've got a player kind of out of control spinning, you're not really going to see the benefit of the doubt from the referee in that situation. Man, Roosevelt is trying to force some really tight passes into that high post area, and that time the Knights got called with a reach-in foul, but there's been a couple of them there so far that have been squeezed in there. Tiger crossover, dribble up top, kicks it over to Ismail. He'll go off the dribble, guarded by Mooney. Spins into the paint. Tough shot is blocked by Mooney, who then had to fling it back into the hands of Ismail, who then gets fouled and will go to the free throw line for 2 free throws.
Those are 2 quick players going at it right there.
Absolutely.
Ismail and Mooney. About the same height as well, and kind of a battle.
Free throw no good. Gross with it into the hands of Mooney. Back to Gross. He'll go off the dribble, swings it over to Mooney. Back into the hands of Satter. Mooney, crossover dribble into the paint, kicks it off to the corner. Satter, another little baseline jumper is good. He's made a living out of that jump shot from that short corner.
He sure has. Tatum Mooney giving Knights nice minutes here in the third quarter. A 3-pointer, good defensive play, and an assist there.
Ismail comes off of a screen into the hands of Tiger. He'll step into a triple, and it's good.
And you'd say the same for Tiger. He has 2 big threes for Roosevelt, 2 free throws, 8 points for him off the bench.
So definitely a shooter for the Rough Riders, who came in and missed those first 2 and weren't necessarily great looks, if you will, but now Mooney steps into a free throw line jumper, couldn't get it to fall, but then has buried 2 tough looks again. So he's just a straight shooter that feels comfortable wherever he is on the floor. Ismail with it over on the right wing. Comes off of a screen into the paint. In a little bit of trouble, kicks it over to Kowal. He'll jump all the way into the baseline, and another charge will be called on Kowal. It's that time. Who took that foul?
Ryland Satter
okay, I was
going to
say, it looked like he took the foul, and now he's off to the bench for a quick break. Say a herd of bodies over there, and couldn't quite see exactly who was the one that got credited with it. So Mooney with it will bring it across the half-court line. Swings it over to Gross into the hands of Mooney up top, back to Gross. 44 on the clock here in the third quarter, 22 on the shot clock. Mooney dumps and tries to get it into John Lent. It was poked away by Hoynes.
Ooh, a Canyon Bauer sighting behind the O'Gorman bench.
Oh, yeah.
Just noticed that right now.
Duke will inbound to Terveen. Terveen off the dribble now into the paint. Rising 2-point shot is an air ball, and then saved by Hoynes before going out of bounds.
Now Roosevelt, can hold for the final shot of the quarter.
Mooney, a little bit handsy at the top of the key, kick to the corner. Nielsen standstill triple is nothing but net. Mooney races down the floor into the hands of Duke. All the way in transition, couldn't get it to fall. Goff with the rebound. Now they have a chance at another basket. Tiger right-handed layup. Good at the end of the quarter. And what a 5-point swing for the Rough Riders to end the third quarter.
So after 3 quarters, it's the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders 47, the Sioux Falls O'Gorman Knights 40. We'll take a break. We'll be back for the start of the fourth quarter from O'Gorman High School. Welcome back to O'Gorman High School. A 5-0 run in the last about 30 seconds of the third quarter gives the Riders a 47-40 lead over the Knights. They hit a 3 by Nielsen, then O'Gorman went down, missed a shot. Roosevelt then got a layup by Tiger as the quarter expired. So just not what you can afford to do if you're O'Gorman. We'll see how they react to the game, and we'll start the fourth quarter with the Riders with the ball and Ishmael. Over to Tiger. Tiger's floater no good. Rebound by Ryland Satter for the Knights. So Theobald, Satter, Gross, Dute, and Austin Terveen, your 5 for the Knights. Theobald with it. Looking to Terveen down low. There's a foul on Nielsen.
So the Knights will have it underneath their own basket here. 35 fresh on the shot clock. Dute up top to Satter. Satter didn't realize that Dute was open on the wing who demanded the ball. We're going to call a foul on Goff underneath the basket there. So Knights will get another fresh 35 here on the offensive possession. Terveen in the corner, guarded by Nielsen. Tries to flip a pass baseline and got poked out of bounds.
Roosevelt on a little 5-0 run at the end of the third quarter in that last 30 seconds with that 3 and then that layup. Huge 2 possessions there.
Gross will inbound, gets it into Satter. Steps into a deep triple. Front of the iron, no good. Rebound, Ismail. And the Riders will have it offensively. Pass back to Tiger, three-pointer, short, no good. Rebound, Ismail. Again, back-to-back rebounds for the smallest player on the floor. And then he gets it poked away by the Knights, and Duke corralled it for the offensive possession now for the O'Gorman Knights. Theobald hands it off to Gross. Right-handed scoop shot, no good. Then Duke goes flying in for a rebound. Got saved by Goff underneath the basket. And then Duke nearly poked it away. Then Terveen pokes it away from Nielsen. Now Nielsen gets across the half-court line.
Looked like Pregame was almost going to call a timeout there, then held off.
Goff with it over on the left wing. Calls for a screen from Hoynes. He'll drive inside, kick it out to Ismail. Three-pointer, good. Timeout from Roosevelt Mitch Begeman and a 10-point lead for the Riders. We have 30-second timeout. We'll take a really quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Knights Basketball.
Welcome back. The Riders on an 8-0 run at the end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter. That Ishmael three-pointer, he now has a game-high 17. Knights down by 10, which is their biggest deficit of the game. 6:15 left in the fourth quarter. Isaac, the Knights offense, they need to get something figured out pretty quickly here.
Yeah, just kind of struggling to score to open up this fourth quarter, and Roosevelt getting a couple of big momentum plays on both ends. Caleb Terveen from the corner, no good. Kind of crotched it between the rim and backboard from the corner. And the Riders get another defensive stop, and now they'll slow things down on the offensive end. Goff over on the left wing. He'll use a screen from Hoynes. Get to the baseline. Wrap around pass up top to Ismail. Swings it over to Kowal. Kowal with it off the dribble. Comes off of a screen. Gets into the paint. Tough right-handed finish is good. Now the momentum is building over on the Roosevelt bench.
Yeah, they're playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Terveen, tough shot, rattles in for two. He has made some difficult shots with that rising two-point shot.
Now if you're O'Gorman, you got to get a few stops here, consecutive possessions defensively.
Yeah, it's all fine and dandy when you're scoring on the offensive end, but if you don't get a stop here defensively, it's just going to continue to repeat, and that one tipped off the hands of Nielsen. It's Terveen pleading his case that when he's shooting the jump shot, they're pushing the elbow up, not necessarily hitting the wrist on the follow-through, but pushing that elbow up. Mooney, touch pass inside to Satter, good for two. So the Knights cut the deficit to 8. Satter with double digits here, 10 points this afternoon. Not a guy that scores a lot of points, but has made a big presence in the low post and short corner so far this evening. Kowal drives inside, doesn't get the shot to fall, but was fouled and will head to the free throw line for 2 free throws here.
A lot of dribble handoffs on that possession. They finally got to Kowal with some momentum going towards the hoop, and he's a tough guy to stop. Again, a good, quick first step, kind of like Duke for O'Gorman.
Free throw is off the front of the rim, no good, so he's missed 3 so far this afternoon. Second free throw that time is good. Mooney off the dribble now, hands it off to Terveen. Terveen, spin move into the block, up top Satter. He'll step into a triple, front iron no good, rebound by Mooney, who then tries to drive inside and got fouled. That'll be the 5th team foul on the Riders, so it'll actually send Mooney to the line for 2 shots. Scoring with the stop clock is exactly, maybe it's just the 4th.
But
okay, I thought I hadn't updated here, but yes, the Knights would love to score with the clock stopped here. 4 fouls on Kowal, though. Caleb Terveen swings it over to Hayden Gross. Pump fake of a triple. Dishes it inside to Mooney. Tough left-handed scoop shot finish is good. And a timeout from Coach Roby. It'll be a full timeout here. Knights trail 53-46. As we'll take a quick break. You're listening to Knights basketball here on Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools YouTube channel.
playoff football update. If any of you guys out there, Texans or Ravens fans, it's 10-10 with about 32 seconds left in the first half.
You want to hear a wild stat?
Sure, why not?
Did you know that there's never been a quarterback in the NFL to win a Super Bowl that wears a visor?
Did not know that one.
And Lamar Jackson wears a visor, so Ravens fans, take that with a little grain of salt there. There has not been a quarterback in the Super Bowl to win with a visor on their helmet. Goff off the dribble now, up top to Ismail. 18 on the shot clock, Nielsen with it. Roosevelt wanted a foul call there as Satter kind of got into a tough position there on the low block with Moko, who finished strong off the window.
Really good execution by Coach Begeman's writers after that timeout as well.
Caleb Terveen with it. Looks inside at Satter, right-handed layup, and he kind of just lost the handle on it and missed it. That's a tough miss for O'Gorman at this stage of the game. It looked like he's going to have a wide-open layup. Couldn't decide between the right or the left hand. Just kind of lost it on the way up. That three-point shot, no good. Rebound by Moko inside, who finishes again off the window.
Two big baskets, back-to-back possessions by Moko for the Riders.
Mooney into the hands of Austin Terveen. Terveen off the dribble now. Knights need a basket here offensively. Terveen into the hands of Mooney. Mooney drives into the paint. Scoop shot, no good, was fouled, and regardless of if it was a shooting foul or just a foul on the floor, it'll result in 2 free throws. Oh, team foul. I keep looking at timeouts left. That's my bad.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's a Saturday. I keep looking at that timeouts left sign like it's fouls for some reason. The next foul will be bonus. So Gross with it. If anyone's wondering, that means Roosevelt has 4 timeouts left. Terveen, tough mid-range 2, rattles in again. And a timeout by the Knights, who have cut it to 9. We'll just keep it right here. 2:14 left. Knights trail by 9. Terveen with 18 points on the night. Ismail with 17 for the Riders. So those two kind of going back and forth here. And the Knights will need to start putting some stops together on the defensive end.
They will, Isaac, and we kind of look at this ball game. You look at the end of the first half with the Tiger three-pointer, which was huge for them, and then the end of the third quarter, that little 5-0 run in the last 30 seconds. End of quarters, how do you finish the quarters? You look at it, the game now, it's a 9-point game. That's 8 points right there, end of the first half, end of the third quarter, which could be the difference in this ball game. But you're absolutely right now. O'Gorman doesn't do them any good if they're going to score on this side of the ball if they can't stop Roosevelt from scoring. You might want to try to do extra ball pressure too, trap, try to speed them up a little bit, because I'm assuming Coach Begeman's team isn't going to be in a huge hurry right now with 2:14 left.
No. Knights will have Lent in on the defensive end here, as well as both Terveens, Mooney, and Gross. Ismail off the dribble, hands it off to Goff. Goff will come off of a screen, trying to get it inside to Moko, can't get it there. Lent playing some pretty good interior defense. Goff, handoff, Ismail. Off the dribble, into the hands of Nielsen. Back up top, Ismail, 10 on the clock. Shot clock, that is. Ismail drives into the paint. Left-handed scoop shot and one.
And again, they let him get to his strong hand, that left hand, Isaac, and he kind of set up Mooney that time. And best case scenario on that possession, you get the clock all the way down to about 5, get a basket and the foul as well.
Ismail, the 5'8" guard, playing large today, shouldering the load for the Warrior or for the Rough Riders offensively, and just kind of being a warrior in the paint, driving in there, knowing he's undersized, and does a really good job of finishing over the top of the defender. Lent, dish to the corner with Mooney. Mooney off the dribble now, crossover, drive into the paint, has to get rid of it, gets it into the hands of Austin Terveen. Terveen looks up at the shot clock. Going to have to kind of go with a little bit of pace here. Terveen inside was fouled on the ground. And guess what? now will be shooting the 2-shot bonus.
I knew we were going to get there for you, Isaac. I knew it.
It took a while. It took 2 slip-ups, but we are here now.
That was a good defensive possession for Roosevelt, too. O'Gorman used a lot of shot clock that possession to get an opportunity for 2 free throws.
Tervine's free throw rattles in.
Think we might see a little press or anything if they say he makes the second
I
free
was going to say,
throw?
I think that you will. I mean, I think you'd assume that the Knights will get up and defend. They're going to have to start creating some turnovers or fouling here at some point. Tervine, second free throw, good. Knights will press here. Roosevelt can run that baseline. Trying to inbound it, and they'll call timeout because they couldn't get that one in. We saw Gorman have difficulties last night trying to inbound the basketball with pressure from Lincoln. And now Roosevelt had trouble getting that one in here. Now you'll fully expect Mitch Pregame to drop something to get the ball into the hands of one of his guards here.
Yeah, probably trying to get the ball into whoever his best free throw shooters are. We don't got any stats on us to know who that would be, but obviously Coach Pregame would know that. Who's your most trusted ball handlers right now? Who's the guy you want at the free throw line? Those are the guys you're going to try to get the ball to, and if it's a man-to-man press, I'm saying clear out, but we'll see what happens. A minute 16, there's still a lot of time, but if you're O'Gorman, you try to get a steal and maybe the first 10 seconds. If you don't get it, probably foul.
I was going to say, they also have some fouls to play with here. They've got 2 fouls to give before they put Roosevelt in the bonus, so you can be kind of uber aggressive here twice, where you kind of jump the gun looking for a steal, and if you make incidental contact, so be it, if you will. Because that one is thrown off of the basket underneath, and it's going to go to the Knights. That's a costly error if you're the Rough Riders, where you're running that baseline after that made free throw, and you kind of get yourself right underneath the basket and try to throw a lob pass over the top, and it hit off the backside of the backboard underneath. Almost fortunate that that's a dead ball, because Caleb Tervine picked that up with no one around him and would have had an easy layup. But yeah, a fortunate play there for O'Gorman, but a little bit fortunate at the same time for Roosevelt that it didn't result in a quick 2 points.
And that would be interesting, too. Say if O'Gorman in this possession gets a quick 3-pointer, makes it a 6-point game, then defensively at that point I might back off a little bit per se, and I mean, we wouldn't be as needy to have to foul Riley if you wanted to play defense and see, but this was a really good scenario for O'Gorman, obviously. No time off the clock, a turnover, and so they'll get the ball right by the Roosevelt basket, see what Coach Roby can draw up here. And the Riders do have, as Isaac mentioned, the 5 team fouls, too. So if they do foul here, O'Gorman is going to the free throw line as well.
So Gorman gets it inbounded to Tervine. Up top to Gross. Gross off the dribble. Heavily guarded. They're going to have to get a shot up at some point here. Tervine hoists a deep triple, and Caleb Tervine knocks it home. And the Knights take another quick timeout. We'll set up some defensive pressure here.
And this will be a 30-second timeout. So 8 points for Caleb Tervine, 20 for Austin Alito Gorman, 19 for Ishmael for the Riders.
So if you're O'Gorman here again, you still have those 2 fouls to give. So you're actually in a really good position where you can try to get as aggressive as you want at getting that ball out without, worrying about getting a foul that sends them to the free throw line right away. Give yourself a little bit of an extra effort, if you will, to get that ball out, and you get to do it twice. And then obviously that next foul will send him to the line. But you can be ultra aggressive here. Tiger gets the ball, and looked like Tervine was kind of confused on who he was supposed to be guarding. Now Mooney gets called for the foul on Tiger. I don't know if I agree with that, where you're kind of letting him get up the floor.
Right.
But it looks like Tervine kind of just lost track of who he was guarding for a second there, and Tiger just waltzed it across the half-court line. Inbound to Ismail and fouled by Mooney.
So that'll be 14 fouls for O'Gorman. So your next foul here will put the Riders to the free throw line. And there's no one-on-one anymore, so it'll be two shots no matter what.
Two shots regardless. At the 5th team foul, too. And now they get it into Kowal, who, if you're O'Gorman, might be the guy that you wanted to foul in that situation, as he's missed 3 of his 4 free throws tonight. So he'll head to the line for 2 here. So kind of played the waiting game and fouled twice, and now you have an opportunity to send a shooter to the line who's struggled a little bit, but obviously knocked that one down with ease.
The reverse announcer jinx right there. Got to box it. Well, I guess you got to box the shooter out if you're O'Gorman. There's no other Roosevelt Rider down in the box to get the rebound.
Knocks down both. Gross will bring it across half-court line. They're going to have to get a quick shot here. Terveen, pump fake, steps into a triple. Bank no good. Rebound goes to Kowal. Kowal dribbling around, then nearly had it poked from behind. Now dribbles all the way to the left side and was fouled by Austin Terveen. And will send Kowal to the free throw line.
Oh, he's a hard guy to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of back in the NBA when John Morant back for Memphis, they throw the ball to him in the games and he can't get him.
Catch him, if you will.
One thing, though, too, about a free throw shooter, even if he's missed a few, he's at least been to the line a few times and has been there, and now he's a little bit of a rhythm here. 9-point game, 3-possession game right now. Knights do have 1 timeout left. Riders have 3. There's your miss.
Free throw in and out. Knights trail by 9. Theobald will bring it in, then steps into a deep triple. No good. Rebound offensively by Mooney. Into the hands of Austin Terveen. Terveen to the corner. Gross standstill open triple. No good. Rebound. Ooh, and then Mooney took a hard fall to the ground. They're going to have him go to the free throw line, I believe.
Referee's discussing it.
Boy, Mooney rose up there and then drew contact. We'll head to the free throw line. That's a sizable leap. That free throw banks no good.
He's going to be sore tomorrow. Boy.
Yeah.
Land on your hip and back like that.
Mooney intentionally misses the free throw, and then they actually get the offensive board. Caleb Terveen hoists a deep triple. That one no good, then hits the twine up top.
That's one that actually worked out on the intentional miss. I think it surprised everyone so much.
I think no one knew that was going to happen except for Tayton, who was shooting the free throw. And the Riders will inbound it into the front court, and they'll just hold it. Talk about a gutsy win for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, coming in a little short-handed tonight and really playing strong in the second half of this one, and will escape out of here with a 62-53 win over the O'Gorman Knights here this Saturday afternoon, from a strong performance from Ismail with 19 points, Kowal 12, and
Tiger with 10.
Yeah, I was just going to say, off the bench, 10 points out of Tiger as well. Knights got 20 points out of Austin Terveen, but couldn't get much going offensively in the last quarter here at O'Gorman. It was just a little bit of too little too late for the Knights this afternoon as they drop game 2 of a back-to-back doubleheader here between the Knights and the Riders.
Well, you look at this ball game, Isaac, 18-15 Roosevelt after the first quarter, 31-26 at halftime, where you had Tiger making that big 3 at the end of the first half, pushing that 2-point lead to 5. And at the end of the third quarter, it's 42-40. O'Gorman had played a really good third quarter, and all of a sudden they allowed that 3-pointer and then to Tiger, and then the 3-pointer to Nielsen, and then they kind of went too quick on their possession. Then the Rider got a layup to end the third quarter, and all of a sudden you're looking at a 7-point deficit. going into the fourth quarter. And then O'Gorman was able to fight back a little bit, but Roosevelt was just able to make the free throws, make the plays to hold them off. And like you said, pretty gutsy win, being shorthanded. 2-0 versus O'Gorman this year. 8-2 on the season for the Riders. 6-game winning streak. The Knights fall to 6-4 on the season. But fun overall game, really high intensity. All these city games usually are, and we'll see what happens moving forward. But O'Gorman did some good things, but just not enough tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. They came up short on a lot of their jump shots and a lot of their offensive possessions, where it felt like we were really 3-point heavy throughout most of this ball game, and the offense didn't have much flow to it today, if you will. Last night I thought they shared the ball pretty well, had some scoring from a lot of different options, and this afternoon it kind of felt like it was forced around and some forced difficult shots, and they kind of let the momentum of Roosevelt get to them a little bit, where Roosevelt started to make some big momentum plays, got their crowd and bench involved, and it kind of shell-shocked O'Gorman for about a good 5-minute stretch there. Yeah,
that end of the third quarter into the first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, Isaac, that was that 3-minute stretch, I think, kind of you can look at big factor in O'Gorman not winning this ball game, and Roosevelt coming into the ball game, a very good defensive team, allowing only 45 points a game. So they got a lot of quick guys, not a ton of height, but there are a lot of guys that get right up into you. They'll get in your space, they'll knock you off your spots, and they're a hard team to play, obviously, and you could kind of see that with our offense, just like you mentioned, Isaac, just not quite in the flow as they were last night.
Absolutely. So again, O'Gorman girls win today 59-21 over the Roosevelt Rough Riders, and then the O'Gorman boys get beat this afternoon in the second game of the doubleheader today in a tough, close game to Roosevelt. Both teams I thought played pretty decently for stretches of the game, and then one team kind of played a lot more polished basketball, if you will, kind of rode the momentum and the ebbs and flows of the game, and Roosevelt did a good job of kind of taking over this second half, winning on the road and continuing that 6-game win streak like you had mentioned.
Hey, can I look at the outlook real quick for next week? On Monday night, the girls play at Yankton, and then also on Thursday night, the doubleheader at Washington, boys and girls, 5:30 and 7. And then on Friday night, the girls go to Pierre. So all those games, we will not have all the road games. We will be back here next Saturday afternoon around 1 o'clock for the O'Gorman boys versus the Pierre Governors boys. And then the following week, a week from this Tuesday, we'll have the girls back in action against T Area here at O'Gorman. So we had a busy stretch this week with 5 total games. Now we'll be off till basically next Saturday, and then we'll come back with you, and that'll be a fun one. O'Gorman and Pierre boys, that's always a fun matchup. But for Isaac Struck, I'm Brett Byler. Thank you so much for tuning in. Knights girls win 59-21. The boys follow Roosevelt 62-53. Have a good weekend, everyone, and we'll see you back here at O'Gorman next Saturday afternoon. Go Knights.